Okay, so it's been a while since I've been on Lovable, and I know on this channel we talk a lot about NAN, we talk about AI, we talk about automations, we talk about how to make money from them. But I had an idea for something I'm going to use as a lead magnet to get traffic over to my newsletter, and I felt it would work better as an app. So I decided to sign into Lovable. I haven't been on Lovable for ages and ages, so we're going to see if we can one-shot this app. And what I'm building is an automation ROI calculator. So this is something that you could use if you are not sure whether it's worth building an automation, if it's actually going to make you money, save you time, or if you're trying to show clients. So, for example, you're on a video call with them, or you're recording a Loom to send out, and you want to show them the value. So that's the idea behind this, and I'm going to use it as a lead magnet because in my newsletter I share free NAN and workflow templates, and then I share 3 ways to monetize that template. So to sell it to clients or to start a side hustle. And so that's where this calculator is valuable for my audience and is a good little lead magnet. So as I said, I haven't done this for a while. We're going to see if we can one-shot this. So I'm building an automations ROI calculator. I need an app that helps AI automation builders price, plan, and calculate their automation value. They can use it to price the automations for invoices or use on sales calls to show the ROI for the business. I want them to include a graph that shows cumulative savings over 12 months and a section at the bottom that's called Get AI Powered Automation Ideas with a subheading of Don't know what to automate, describe a business process or your job role and let AI suggest opportunities. This bit's here because somebody might end up on my tool and it might not be quite what they're looking for, but by having this section down here, what I'm able to do is keep them on the tool and get them potentially interacting with it because they might then go, oh, look, actually, I could use automation in this part of my job. And then they'll figure out how long that takes them and how much their time is worth. And then they can use the ROI calculator. Just so you know as well, I planned this out with ChatGPT. So this isn't all from my brain. I planned this out with ChatGPT and then I've edited a little bit. So I put the inputs that I want and again worked with ChatGPT with this. And then I want my inputs to be sliders, not boxes. So I put that in there, see if we can get that done. So once you're happy with your input on Lovable, you just got to hit this button. You can also talk to it as well, and you can talk to these tools in everyday language, just like I have there, and completely non-technical, and you're able to get a result. So not sure we're going to be able to one-shot this. Don't know if what I've described was good enough, but you can now see we've got all of the original prompt in here, and we've now got Lovable building this out. So I'm just going to pause and then we'll see what happens. Okay, so I paused for about 3 minutes and here we have it. So automation ROI calculator. We've got our subheading there. We've got our sliders that we asked for. So let's say we've got a business and they're telling me that they have a task and that task takes 2 hours and they're doing it every day. Well, let's say they're doing it 4 times a week. That they pay their employer that's doing it, let's say they're paying them $35 an hour. The automation time, let's see how far down this goes. Let's say it takes quarter of an hour. One-time build cost, we're going to drop that down to $2,000, and then ongoing maintenance cost $500 a year. I probably changed that to month, and that's because I'm going to be charging a monthly fee. So let's say it's $100 a month I'm going to be charging them. So that would be the equivalent of $1,200 a year. And then we have our answers. So let's just check. As I move this, you can see the numbers down here are changing, which is good. We can also see time saved because we've got the amount of time for the employee and the amount of time the task takes. So we're imagining it's taking 15 minutes or something like that in order to get it running. So if I take this back up to 1200, there we go. So time saved over the year or how many hours a week. We've got the annual labor saving. So how much money we're going to be able to save in the business. And then the net years for the first year savings, sorry. So they've had to invest 3,200, but then after that they're saving money because they're not having to pay the employee. Plus, the benefit with this is that the employee can then be doing something else. So the business is actually going to make more than this, because this time that employer was putting into that task can go into something else. And then we've got the ROI with the break even after 13 weeks. We've got the graph just to show how it's working. We're missing the month 11 label here, but we can that's quite nice that it's interactive. See how much they are saving. And then if somebody's struggling, then they can type in here and they can figure out what they could automate and therefore how long it is going to take them. So if somebody's using this independently, then they've got that. So some things I would need to change, but I don't have many credits. We need to add the month 11 in there. I'd probably change the colors. I'd probably change this automation taskbar because that's quite long. Let's see if we go into negative numbers. Yeah, yeah, so it does work. Yeah, so probably change the scale on that. And I'm going to change the scale on this as well because I don't think it's going to take 40 hours. So I'm going to change some of those numbers there, but this is good enough for me to be able to publish, have out there as a calculator that people can use, and then use as a lead magnet. So when somebody comes over to my newsletter, they'll open up the latest issue, they'll see the workflow that we are promoting, they can get it completely for free, they can see what it looks like and read about it. They decide they want it or not, and they also can see how they can monetize it as well. So we've got all of these business ideas that someone can read through, and they know with all of these business ideas they could go to a local business and just using this free workflow they would be able to fulfill. So for example, for this one, they wanted to produce personalized video ads for a small local business like a real estate agent, like a restaurant, like a gym. Then what they'll be able to do is they know that they've got the workflow in order to be able to do the job. But on top of that, when they're talking to these individuals, then they're going to be able to use the ROI calculator on a Zoom call or in a Loom video or whatever it is. So they can talk to these businesses, whichever of these ideas they want to go ahead and test, and build the automation ROI calculator into part of that pitch. So hopefully you found this useful. I'll leave a link down in the description so you can test this out for yourself. Definitely get onto these free tools. Remember, an AI automation isn't always what you need. Sometimes you need an app. If you're interested in building automations with Claude, I highly recommend you watch the video on the screen now.